Wimbi, ada TV tabung plasma. Aku punya TV baru.
Good evening. Your host, General Electric. And this is true. On May 1st, 1960, the U-2 incident occurred. Khrushchev sabotaged the summit conference. On August 13th, 1961, the Berlin Wall went up. Between those two dates, the Cold War threatened to erupt into World War III. It was a time of maximum caution.
Like sports. There's nothing fascist about it. I just really like my home team. I buy all of their stuff. Their logo is burned in my mind. I know all of their players. I know all the statistics. It's important stuff. How else will people know that I'm such a big fan if I don't memorize everything associated with it? It's the most masculine thing there is. And you're only a faggot if you get caught. You're only a faggot if you get caught, okay?
Blessed are they who sins are through iniquities are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord will not impute sin. Salvation is by faith. Salvation is by believing on Jesus Christ. That's all there is to it. Faith alone is salvation. But today we have people attacking this doctrine, and among independent Baptists, it's getting hard to find someone who will clearly stand up and just articulate the most basic, fundamental thing that I just articulated to you in the last few minutes.
In Joel 2, God commits himself to sending incredible dreams and supernatural visions just prior to Christ's return. Now, if you recall these scriptures, your old men will dream dreams, and your young men will see visions. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. So ask yourself this pointed question. Are we genuinely ready to embrace these supernatural wonders and accept new prophecy from these instructive communications? If you hesitated to say yes, then you're not fully prepared to accept these scriptures, these promises, being fulfilled when they occur. Saints, it's time for us all to be prepared. Now, I believe I was specially elected and instructed by God to bring one of the most critical and insightful messages that Christians will ever need to hear throughout all of history. It is a powerful message, and therefore we all need to listen with a discerning heart and an open spirit. Answers that I was not prepared to hear. In the midst of a preordained night, he sent the most powerful dream that I could ever imagine. I call it the dream that connected all things. When I awoke from this dream in a somewhat stunned state, a blazing vision appeared in front of me. Now, it's been difficult describing these events in man-made terms. The message that God communicated, though, was very clear, very precise, and there is no mistaking what God showed me. So who am I to receive such an incredible world-changing message from the Lord? I'm a nobody.
These omens, both fair and foreboding.
Hello everyone, so today I wanted to talk about privilege. I specifically wanted to talk about people's reaction to me acknowledging my own privilege. It's something that's come up in the comments of multiple videos and articles that I've written. So the main topic that this criticism arises from is, unsurprisingly, feminism. I always think it's important to note when I talk about feminism that I am not female. This means that when I talk about an issue that affects women, I don't fully appreciate what it's like to be affected by that issue. I still think that I'm entitled to comment on issues such as unequal pay, such as street harassment, such as rape. I'm allowed to comment on all of these things, and as part of free speech, everyone is allowed to comment on these things. But it is also important to note that I haven't suffered street harassment. I haven't ever suffered sexual abuse. I haven't ever been paid less because of my gender. And so whenever I talk about these issues, I always think that it's important to let people know that the voices that they should really be listening to are the voices of women who are affected. As well as feminism, whenever I talk about race, I always think it's important to mention the fact that I'm white. The race that you are intrinsically affects how you experience racism. It affects how you interpret racism. When I mentioned in my video about Ferguson that people should listen to the voices of black people from Ferguson, as opposed to a white guy in England. Also, people said that I was racist for disregarding my own opinion based on my race. But I'm not disregarding my own opinion. I'm just saying that the opinion of those who are there and who have experienced racism are a lot more insightful than my own opinions. I haven't ever experienced what they are experiencing. My opinion is obviously not going to be as relevant as theirs is. If I didn't think that my own opinion was valid because of my race or gender, then why would I make these videos or write these articles in the first place? I'm not at all saying that white people shouldn't get involved in conversations about race, that men shouldn't get involved in conversations about feminism. It's really important that the privileged group in a system of oppression engages in a conversation about this. And I'm not saying that you should only listen to people of colour on race issues, or only listen to women on feminist issues. By all means, listen to the white English guy talking about Ferguson, but it's important that you also listen to the voices of the people involved in the issue that's being spoken about. Outside observations and opinions are never going to be as accurate and as useful as inside opinions.
Our mind's perceptions change every moment, projecting us like out of a catapult, says the Tibetan Book of the Dead, into alternate states of sorrow or joy. If our habitual conduct in life was positive, our perception and experience in the bardo will be mixed with bliss and happiness. and if our lives were harmful or hurtful to others, our experiences in the bardo will be ones of pain, grief, and fear. So, it was said in Tibet, fishermen, butchers, and hunters are attacked by monstrous versions of their former victims. The whole of the bardo of becoming has an average duration of 49 days and a minimum length of 1 week. But it varies, just as now some people live to be 100 years old and others die in their youth. Some can even get stuck in the bardo to become spirits or ghosts. Dujum Rinpoche used to explain that during the first 21 days of the bardo, you still have a strong impression of your previous life. And this is therefore the most important period for the living to be able to help a dead person. After that, your future life slowly takes shape and becomes the dominant influence. We have to wait in the bardo until we can make a karmic connection with our future parents. Some accounts of the bardo describe a judgment scene. Your good conscience, a white guardian angel, acts as your defense counsel, recounting the beneficial things you have done, while your bad conscience, a black demon, submits the case for the prosecution. Good and bad are totaled up as white and black pebbles. The Lord of Death, who presides, then consults the mirror of karma and makes his judgment. Ultimately, all judgment takes place within our own mind. We are the judge and the judged. The judgment scene also shows that what really counts in the final analysis is the motivation behind our every action, and that there is no escaping the effects of our past actions, words, and thoughts, and the imprints and habits they have stamped us with. It means that we are entirely responsible not only for this life, but for our future lives as well. As our mind is so light, mobile, and vulnerable in the bardo, whatever thoughts arise, good or bad, have tremendous power and influence. Without a physical body to ground us, thoughts actually become reality. Imagine the sharp grief and anger we might feel on seeing a funeral service performed carelessly on our behalf, or greedy relatives squabbling over our possessions, or friends we loved deeply and thought had loved us, talking about us in a sneering or hurtful or simply condescending way. Such a situation could be very dangerous, because our reaction in its violence could drive us directly toward an unfortunate rebirth. The overwhelming power of thought, then, is the key issue in the bardo of becoming. This crucial moment finds us completely exposed to whatever habits and tendencies we have allowed to grow and dominate our lives. If you don't check those habits and tendencies now in life and prevent them from seizing hold of your mind, then in the bardo of becoming, you will be their helpless victim, buffeted to and fro by their power.
All the jungle and mountain, I'm sure this technology is based on satellite. I'm sure this technology, Malaysian government using satellite. To my knowledge, Malaysian government has 2 satellites. Malaysian government has 2 satellites launched somewhere 15 years ago. 10-15 years ago, this satellite has been launched. I'm sure Malaysian government using satellite technology to control human brain. Human brain, each human brain has a code, like a DNA code. each human being around the world has a DNA code. I'm sure Malaysian government using satellite, I believe strongly.
It is a very unique teaching, to say the least. When man fell in the Garden of Eden, in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, the Lord gave a prophecy. It's the first prophecy in the Bible, and here's what it says. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And when Satan fell from heaven, he took 1/3 of the angels of God with him. These are called the fallen angels.
About gay marriage. And yes, I am bisexual. No, I don't want to do everyone in the freaking room. So let's get started. Marriage. First thing that I'm going to say. Marriage is a human right, not a heterosexual privilege. It's a human right to marry. I don't want to grow up seeing people that are madly in love and can't freaking marry and be together. And on their gravestone, it will say, I want the gravestone to say, a lovely husband or a lovely wife. And some people force people that are gay and bi to be straight. Okay, straight people that are doing this, stop it. Because how would you like it if you were forced to be gay? You would hate it. Now, if it was the other way around, straight people were shamed and were forced to be hid in a closet. Do you know how? Just think of that. You walk in school, you have your girlfriend, and people are laughing at you, and you're getting picked on just because you're straight, and you can't marry someone. How'd you like that if you can't marry someone?
Did you know Adam had a first wife? Her name was Lilith. She represented the Canaanite worship of Asherah and Ishtar of Babylon. Her symbols were the snake, which meant wisdom. The story goes she liked being on top, and Adam couldn't handle that. So Eve became his second, younger wife, and given the blame for Lilith's knowledge. She was denied even being born, cursing all women to painful childbirth, passive sexually, no rights of ownership to her children, and chained eternally to her husband.
Forget it!
Who goes there? Jonas. Sure. Please, Captain, let me go with you. I'll give you all my money for a place on your ship. Huh. Yes, I wonder what he's running away from. Well, I guess we can find a place for you. Jonah boarded the ship and hid deep in the hold, as far away from God as he could. At last, he saw the anchor being drawn up onto the deck. At last, we're heading out to open sea. God will never find me now.
You are perfect.
I'm going to have a new life for myself.
If only I could be like you.
As soon as the ship was far from land, God sent a storm. For no one can hide from God.
If you're not there with me, then I'll know that
God sent great gusts flying over the sea. And waves crashing over the ship. Men, on deck! We're We're taking on overboard. Captain, we're sinking. We need to overboard the ship. Throw the cargo overboard. All the sailors went under went inside the ship. Look, he's sound asleep. We need all hands on deck. Hey, wake up! Wake up! Come, we have no time to wake him now. As the sailors closed the door, Jonah roared from his outside, it was dark as night. The sailors began to throw the cargo overboard. Jonah ran upon deck. Only one thing will save the ship. Stop! Stop! You must throw me into the water instead. What are you saying? We can't throw an innocent man into this angry sea. Listen! God has sent this storm to punish me. Punish? Why? I tried to run away from him, and now he has found me. If we throw him over now, he'll surely drown. But the wind and the waves are too much for us. We have no choice. The sailors grabbed Jonah and threw him into the sea.
It's like 2 hours past.
The sea became calm.
I gotta get there.
Down,
but it's like a 17-hour drive
down into the sea sank Jonah,
drive.
gasping and nearly drowning.
I gotta be
But
there's
God
a camp
was
from
not
Guam,
yet
right across the
finished
street, about half a mile down the road.
He sent a big
It's
fish
perfectly
to
safe.
swallow Jonah in one go.
I'm not asking you guys anybody to go in
Jonah
with me.
found himself
But I gotta get in
the
there. I'm gonna
stomach
jump the
of a
fence like I did before.
Oh, it's so dark in here. What
Can't
will
carry all my
become for
crystals
me
in at
now?
once, so I need Leo to help me
Maybe
carry them.
God will still
Leo,
hear me. Jonah
just
turned
touch those
to
crystals. I know that
Lord,
something really good
thank
would happen.
you for
because
saving me. Inside the fish, Jonah prayed for 3 days. I'm sorry I tried to hide from you. Please let me out of this terrible prison. I will do as you commanded.
He lives that
God
over and over.
heard
You think that he just got off it and went to
and
heaven
he
and happily
had
ever after?
changed.
No.
He made
People
the
still wear
fish
the cross
spit
on their neck
out
and hanging on that cross.
Jonah onto the land.
He goes through it all the time.
Thank
He
you,
keeps that
merciful
poor man.
Lord, for delivering me
He's so
safely
sweet. He's such a
to
brat.
land.
Hi guys, it's me, Kimberly. Welcome back to another episode where I'm just gonna talk until I'm tired or until I leave. If I'm quiet for a few minutes, don't watch. If you want to watch, you can. I'm not in a happy mood. Hey. My hair is growing back. At least I'm happy about that. Which means I won't have to cut it. Yay!